like, man, this is a Forgotten Realms was a series, man. I ended up like kind of getting down. Even me and my uncle were reading this series together. He's reading this while he's in jail, right? So it's a great series. Like, he would tell you, man, this is one of his favorite characters. Even though I don't know why, because he didn't break any laws, right? I don't know how my uncle found this guy to be like the relatable character, but anyway, he was like, so Drizzt Do'Urden. This is R.A. Salvatore. So this is a big guy in sci-fi writing. I feel like this series has quietly gone underneath the radar, and I don't know why. I think this character could be extremely a mainstream character, but it hasn't blown up, right? So this is a guy who comes from the novel Crystal Shard. So going back to like 1988, right? This is when this thing came out. It's like my junior year of high school when this comes out, right? And he originally planned for another character to be the hero, and I remember it started off, but Drizzt was a supporting character. Like, the main character was a character named Wolfgar, who was the main character. Drizzt, this dark elf character here, was a supporting character. I do remember that story. And he needed a sidekick for the story. So, it's classic for fantasy at that time. There was also an elf that they rolled with. And they had some other, so they had kind of a traditional crew, like, like, imagine like your Conan type of story. That's Wolfgar, and you have like he's friends with this dark elf who does magic, and this dwarf, and he has a panther. So it became the four of them a lot, right? And what he is a drow. So drow is kind of some new terminology, and it's specific. This is specific to this world, to this whole like fantasy world that he creates. Like, it's very, very specific. Nobody else has, I don't think anyone else ever uses that character reference at all. A drow, right? And that's what he is. And there's a whole civilization that goes along with the drow. So it's deep, man. They get really, really deep in here, right? And so drow essentially is a dark elf. Essentially, like, there's a light elves, and so they make that distinction. And this is a dark elf. So he's kind of like this purple skinned elf. They live in these underground cities and beneath the surface world. Now, mostly in this society, it gets a little controversial because they're the dark skinned ones, and they live underground. I don't think you guys are seeing how biology works, but whatever. But his society is also defined by the fact that it's totally corrupt. Like, the dark elf culture is completely corrupt. It's beautiful, like the way they describe, the cities, like the drow women. They're beautiful. It's insanely gorgeous, but they are so evil, right? And so drow, this character plays kind of the role. He leaves, as I call him, kind of a sellout. He comes up to the surface world and makes a new life. But because you're dark skinned, you facing a lot of BS up on the surface, on the light world, right? So we know this, right? Even though it's kind of backwards, it's kind of like, the sun world is a world where all the darker beings are. So anyway, that's the story. That's the core of his story. But he's a brilliant fighter. Like, the character set was so much cooler than Wolfgar that he essentially took over. Like, that's what it is. So this character became very popular as a fantasy archetype, like the noble outsider, right? Like, this is kind of he would influence characters like Geralt of Rivia, right? Hellboy, the Mandalorian. Like, he's kind of anti-hero. Like, he's not what you would look at as the hero, but he ultimately is always the best and the most moral character around. That's what Drizzt is. So high like likability, high nobility, right? He's all that stuff. And he's got a couple of signature weapons, like his sword. He has two swords, Twinkle and Icing Death. Like, that's the name of his weapons. So anytime you start getting to personalized weapons like that, man, people love that stuff, right? I remember, like, I was all consumed in this character. It was a badass character. And then he has a panther, so he rolls with a black panther, like a magical black panther that he can summon through this like enchanted figurine. So he gets magic, you get fighting, you get coolness, you get exile, you get righteousness, right? The stranger, he's all that stuff. So he's like, you can compare him a lot of mythological points. And you know what? Now I've kind of convinced myself that he does need his own like complete breakdown. So I will at some point put him on the list and do, but like I said, the reason I don't really talk about him that much is because nobody really talks about this character. Like, there's wait, my mic is out. Let's see. Man. Man, let me see something here, man. All right, let me listen to this. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I just want to do a quick mic check. Okay, mic check. I'm just kind of checking out to see what my TikTok feed is doing right now. It's been acting a little nutty, man. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I'm going to get it here. Hang on. Oh, I think I know. Let me see. I think I know. Hang on. Okay. That should resolve that issue. Yo, I'm sorry, TikTok, man. I wasn't paying attention. You guys gave me a warning, and I had an extra setting in there, and I wasn't listening to it. And I greatly apologize because I was giving you guys a dose of really good stuff. So I do apologize for that. And I won't let my sound on TikTok be screwed up like that again. I promise you guys that, okay? I value you guys as an audience. Okay. Anyway, I got it back, and I wanted to, oh, is that why that's over there? Okay, guys, I'm sorry about that. I kind of screwed up some of my settings. I didn't realize that had got messed up before. Okay, so I'm gonna drop out here, but I had to go back, and I should have checked my sound on TikTok sooner. But man, I had a bunch of stuff going. So anyway, okay. So this character Drizzt, who I'm gonna get back into, like this was a really, really good character coming from a fantasy environment, right? Like people really got into this character. I got into this character. Like I said, I did this character for a few years, and like I said, I was reading these books with my uncle, man. Me and my uncle were down during his lockdown time, man. Help get him through here. It's a righteous character for him to lock into. So would I let this guy in my house? That's what it all comes down to. Like, would I let you in the house? Like, okay, so he shows up at the door, and you see this guy, and like right off the bat, you're probably gonna like him, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like Drizzt right in. Like, I don't know who he is. If you don't know, but you see him, he's like dark elf, white hair, lavender, like maybe armored up. Kind of depends on your world, but he's basically a nice guy. Like, so when you see him like rolling up like this, yeah, you're not gonna let him in. You're not gonna let him in. That's actually gonna be his biggest problem here. Is that how you look when you roll up typically tells me a lot about you. Like, that's how we do it. Like, unfortunately, that first impression does matter. Like, he's totally loked out. Like, man, you got lavender skin or lavender eyes, dark skin like this, white hair. You look cool. I've never seen anything quite like you before, you know, Drizzt. And I hope you don't have the Panther out. Like, this is assuming that you don't even have the Panther with you, right? But if you got your two twin swords that you carry with you most of the time, right? Like it's a fearsome, like it is. Like in your world, maybe it's not, but in my world, which is where the door is, right? The door is in my world. Yeah, I'm not gonna let you in here, right? Like or you're starting off low. Now we start getting to what this guy's powers are. Let's really talk about it, man. He's pretty scary as a warrior, as a fighter. As a one man, he's extremely dangerous. This is a masterful swordsman. This is superhuman, like skill, physical abilities, all that stuff. This is elite ranger abilities. This is expert tracking skills, magical equipment, combat expertise against monsters, demons, dragons, giants, and assassins, right? He has backup, a magical panther to which he rose with. He's got a squad of homies, right? He's got Brenner, Wolfgar. So he's got a complete skill set. Like, this is a very dangerous guy. If he wanted to make you his enemy, which he probably doesn't, this is a very, very skilled guy. He can make this really problematic for you, right? Now, the whole thing about it is, like, when we start talking about his character, this is where things make a massive uptick for this character. His character itself is high. This is a high character individual, right? This is a guy that you could absolutely put your faith in, right? There's no doubt about it. Like, once you meet him, he's very compassionate, he's very loyal, right? He's very protective by nature, he's naturally self-sacrificing, he's naturally humble, and he's naturally honest, right? So he's got everything, right? We get it all from this guy. His entire story, revolves around rejecting cruelty. That's the whole thing. He's like, I am not going to be that guy. Instead, he chooses principles and morals and nobility by choice. He walked away from a culture that told him, like, yeah, dude, just fucking slide through here, dude. Come on. And he rejected all that. He rejected cruelty. So I know from his moral compass, this is a guy who is an entire core. He's an entire moral core at the highest level. So once I establish like his character, I'm like, you know what? I do let this guy in. You're a little strange looking, you're a little nightcrawlery, but we can get past that stuff, right? I'm open-minded. So once we get him there, he's at my door, and you're like, okay, why are you here? It's never for any, selfish reasons or domination. He's not here for conflict. That's not why he stopped at my house. Like, his motives are always going to be to help someone, or maybe he's seeking some shelter, maybe he's tracking, maybe he has some questions for me. Whatever it is, he's probably doing it to protect some individual or some cause that I probably would agree with for most cases, right? Now, the best case scenario here is that I gain a friend, right? Me and Drizzt are now friends, or homies, and I love that, man. I always like reading this guy's books. I like how he rolls. He's got a Black Panther with him. I got a couple of Black Panther t-shirts here. So I feel well suited that we would be really, really good friends here, right? Like, this is it. He's a nice guy. He's probably going to be protective of me too. I'll probably get to meet the other homies in Wolfgar and all that stuff. And we'll all be cool with each other. Like, I could definitely see all benefit from this. This is a huge upside for me. From my side of this is all upside, right? That's kind of how I see it. It's all upside for me. The worst case scenario is not really him. The problem isn't him. It's potentially the people from his old community who are still looking for him, right? That's the danger that he represents. Is like, yeah, you leave and some of your old enemies roll up on me, right? Now they're putting pressure on me because of some stuff that you did, right? So that's kind of like the only real downside for this character, right? Like, otherwise, he's too cool of a character, man. I like this dude. Like, that's what it is. His ancient enemies might roll up, but I feel like he's got my back, man. I feel like as long as I've got his number, I'm going to be all right. The final verdict on him is like, if I weigh all of it out, yeah, let him in, man. Yes, he comes in, man. Yes, this dude comes in. This is exactly, out of all the elves that I've read about, this is probably one of the most righteous elves out there, right? This is one of the elves that you can really trust. Even above Legolas. I take this guy above Legolas any day of the week. Not because he's weak, not because he's harmless, but because he's trustworthy. Like, that's it. He's trustworthy. Those keywords matter. He is worthy of trust. That's who this guy is. He is worthy of my trust. So yeah, he's one of the safest passes that I can give. If this guy shows up at your door, like, don't hesitate to let him in. I'm telling you, this is a decision that you will probably more than likely more than likely, this is going to be a decision years later. You're like, man, I'm glad I let you in that day. I don't think he drinks anything, and I doubt I can even get him to smoke weed. But overall, like, I think he'd be an enjoyable friend to have. We'll just sit around and do some honest, like, some clean stuff. I don't know if I really want to meet your panther. Like, I do want to meet your panther, but at the same time, like, that's probably not a good idea. We shouldn't tempt fate, right? With like walking with the panther. The LL Cool J did it, man, and I would love to walk with the panther myself. But you know, it is what it is. So that's my 401 on Drizzt. If he shows up at